What's up? It's Don't Accept Reality, and today we're going to discuss house hunting red flags. Indicators that you shouldn't go through with this house, indicators that you'll just be aware when you're going home shopping. So the first red flag is when you see a house on the market for a very long time. When I started my home buying process and I was going shopping, I was checking the MLS, and you'll see a couple houses on the market that's been there, 3, 5, 6 months. And you kind of question, like, why is this house sitting on the market? The pictures look nice and stuff like that. But what that indicates is pretty much either the house is overpriced, or maybe it failed an inspection, or something was wrong with the inspection report, and just different things like that. It could be a number of red flags, but it could also be a good thing, because it might be a diamond in the rough. You might be able to go check that house out and you can get a good deal on it, because who knows, maybe the sellers are willing to lower the price if you're willing to negotiate. So it's definitely something to look into, but it still is a red flag. It just depends on if you want to take that path or not. But as long as you're aware, it can be a red flag, so you don't want to waste too much time when you're going house hunting. And another red flag that I feel like is pretty common usually in any nice neighborhood, but when you see those very well-groomed homes, those well-groomed suburban homes, and you're just like, man, they all look very unison and very, very together, 9 times out of 10 there's going to be a HOA, the homeowners association fee. And when that fee is there, that fee is set there to maintain the restrictions in that community. So it's just something to look into. It's not a huge red flag, but it is something that should concern you as a home buyer, because not everybody can agree with a lot of the restrictions that communities have. So definitely look into the restrictions if it's a home that you're considering buying. And the third red flag would be the home being located in a flood zone. It's not huge. It's not a very bad red flag, because there's actually a lot of amazing homes in flood zones. It's just something that you need to be aware of, because you're gonna have to increase your home insurance to add the flood zone insurance on there. And sometimes you're not able to really tell if it's near a flood zone like that. So you can definitely check FEMA.com. Say it one more time, FEMA.com. Check that out. You search the address and you can see if your home is located in a flood zone. Your home is 5 times more likely to experience a flood than a home fire. So just keep that in mind. That's why it is a red flag. But if you're willing to put up with it, then so be it. You just got to be aware of these things. And a red flag that really concerns myself though is parking. It's like, where your friends gonna park at? You want to make sure that there's enough parking for guests, for family, whoever decides to visit you, and they shouldn't have to park all the way around the block. It should be accessible parking very, very close by, so everybody can come, because you don't want to have your whole family walking across the entire neighborhood to get to your house because there's no parking. So parking is a red flag. So definitely make sure that whatever house you're checking out, check out the area, the neighborhood, and make sure that there's ample parking there if need be for your family and friends. So say you find a house that's amazing, but the neighbors' houses are all for sale. It can mean a lot of things, but I think it's a red flag just because crime rate. That's one of the main reasons why people move around. Crime in that area maybe is increased, or it's just a bad area, or there's not a lot of growth. So, or the opposite. Maybe those houses are increased in equity. There's just exponential growth in all those homes, and people are cashing out. Or there's a lot of older people downsizing, which has actually been very common. As you get older, a lot of people don't want to go with the 2-story homes. They want single-story homes. So I feel like that's very common. So it's still a red flag. It's just something to be concerned about. And say you find another crib and the house is amazing, the neighborhood looks pretty nice, but you start seeing a lot of for sale spaces, or those for rent signs, a lot of empty storefronts. That just means maybe the neighborhood is on a decline. It may not be a concern because, gentrification is going on. A lot of people are moving out, people moving in. There's a lot of renovations happening. So if you're willing to go through the neighborhood adapting and growing, then maybe that home is for you. But it's just something to be concerned about. It is a red flag because maybe the neighborhood might not get back on its feet anytime soon. So you definitely want to just be aware of all the empty storefronts and the for rent signs or for sale signs that you may come across when you see these businesses in that neighborhood. This red flag is for the people that have kids. Something that can be very concerning is the schools. So definitely check into the schools, because you want to make sure that the enrollments is increasing each year, or it's pretty high or steady, because you don't want the school to have low enrollment, because what that means is maybe there's not a lot of kids that's moving into that area, which would mean there's less kid friends for your kids. So just something to be concerned about. If you are into the schools and you have kids, and you want your kids to have friends they can grow up with. You don't want to live in an area where there's not a lot of kids hanging out or playing. You don't want to live in an area where the school enrollment is low or it's just not increasing and there's not a lot of kids for your kids to play with. And the last red flag that I feel is key and concerns me when I was going through my home buying process is you finding an amazing home, but it's the nicest house on the block. That's what you do not want. You want to make sure that the surrounding homes are equal or better than the home that you're buying. You don't want to be the nicest house on the block, because what that means is all these houses around your nice house is going to decrease your property value. You do not want your property value decreased. So make sure that your house is in an area where all the other houses are well groomed and just very well maintained. I hope I was able to cover a lot of the house hunting red flags that you can come across. And I hope you guys are aware and it helps you expedite your home buying search. So that way you can avoid all these red flags, save some time, and make sure that you get an amazing home. I want you guys to like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment, check out all my other content, and I truly appreciate you guys. Hey, what's going on, guys? Don't accept reality here. I have an ebook out called The Active Duty and Veteran First Time Home Buyers Guide. And in my guide, I'm giving you a step-by-step process on how to reach home ownership comfortably and with knowledge, and it's just preparing you for the unexpected things that I wish I would have known when going through my home buying process. The link to the ebook is in the description. Check it out, and I truly appreciate you guys.